techniques, community building, working with folk music and also graphic scores. It was really great and exciting to see the diversity of responses that came back from the composers from the Mile Jazz Club. And last month, in a gig at Turner Sims, which is a concert hall here in Southampton, I put together a new band, Declare Sextet, to perform some of these pieces. It was wonderful to kind of bring to audiences here in Southampton some of the sounds of Yangon field recordings and kind of give voice to
ဒီကနေပဲ microphone pass အောင်လုပ်ပြရမယ်ချင်းချင်းမိတ်ဆက်ပါမယ်နော်ကိုပါနာမည်နဲ့ပါတီပဲဒီနေ့ပါတီမှာလဲဆိုတာပေါ့နော်မြန်မာလိုရောအင်္ဂလိပ်လိုပေါ့နော် Hello everyone, so I will start from me. So I am Momia Meizaji and I will be playing today. I will be doing most of the sampling and electronics and I will be singing one song and playing a melodica.
I'm Ito. I'll be playing guitar and bass.
I'm Saul Moses. I'm playing piano and keyboard.
I'm Joey Mombi. I'm a playing pianist. I'm playing piano. Hello. I'm Teaga. I'm a traditional musician. Actually, I will be playing traditional instruments, but one is drum cycle.
Hi, my name's Ariel. I'll be playing bass for tonight for y'all.
Hello, I'm Maybe. I'm playing saxophone.
I'm Philimime. I will play saxophone.
Hello everyone, I'm Duda and I'll be playing the drums.
Hello, my name is Sir James. I'm playing cello and also conducting.
Okay, I'm Susu. I play drummer.
Thank you all. So please, round of applause. Last round of applause to welcome the musicians and to welcome the Foley Jazz Project. Thank you all. So the first piece will be Helmet Head. I invite all the musicians to take their place to set up. For the next project, we would like to invite Dulele for the next piece of sound. So all the musicians of Dulele. And I would like to have a few conversations with the composer of the upcoming song, Dulele. Côဒီတချင်းကိုပေါ့နော်ဘယ်လိုဖန်တီးပြတာလဲတစ်ချက်တော့ share ပေးလို့ရမှာလဲ
ဒီဒူလေးလေးတစ်ဆင့်ကကျွန်တော်တို့ဒီကြီးလက်ဒူရတစ်ဆင့်လို့ပြောလို့ရတာပေါ့နော်ကျွန်တော်အဲ့တန်စင်လေးရှိတယ်အဲ့ဒါလေးကိုကျွန်တော်ဒီ project လုပ်တဲ့အခါမှာ ethnic နဲ့ဆိုင်တဲ့ဟာလေးတွေရေးလို့ရတယ်ဆိုတော့ဒီတော့ပြမှာဖြစ်နေခံစားချက်လေးကိုရေးလိုက်တာပါပုံမှန်တော့ဒူလေးလေးပဲပုံစံကျွန်တော်ကဒူလေးလေး tragedy ဆိုပြီးထည့်လိုက်ပါတယ်အဲ့ဒါတော့ 3 parts ရှိပါတယ်အချင်းမှာ first part ကတော့ကျွန်တော်ပုံမှန်တိုင်းလေးပေါ့ဒါကျွန်တော်တို့အတိတ်ကာလကိုလည်းပြောလို့ရတယ်ကိုဗစ်မတိုင်ခင်ကာလလေးပြီးတော့ဒီ second part ကတော့ကျွန်တော်မှ minor မှုလေးထည့်လိုက်ပြီးတော့အခုခေတ်ကာလရဲ့အခြေအနေလေးတွေနဲ့ပုံပေါ်လာတဲ့ပုံစံလေးပေါ့နော်ပြီးတော့ third part ကတော့အဲ first part ကိုပြန်ကြည့်ရမှာ different ပုံစံလေးပုံစံလေးနဲ့ ABA form ဆိုပုံစံလေးတော့အဲ့ဒါတော့အနာဂတ်ကိုအမွေးရောအနာဂတ်မှာဒါကျွန်တော်ပြန်ပြီးတော့ကောင်းလာတဲ့နေ့ရက်လေးရှိတာအဲ့ဒါလေး
So Dulele is inspired by the current traditional folk song, which is also the same name Dulele. But he added, for this piece, he added Dulele tragedy because he interpreted it in 3 parts, where the first part is it's like original melody of current traditional ethnic sound, but the second part is where we face more of like adversity and challenges. But then the third part is where we start to see a little bit of a flicker and a beam of hope. So it's like a 3-part piece, which is inspired by current traditional sound. Thank you. Also, I would like to invite everyone to come, like those who don't get to see, because we make this place for everybody to, you know, sit down and enjoy the concert. So I would invite people at the back who cannot fully see the musicians here, who cannot, you know, hear the sound, because I want everybody to get immersed in this experience. So this is a place where we will, you know, when there's like a traditional concert back in like the 1930s and 40s, we always Thank you, Philip Imitu, for performing this beautiful piece, just by interpreting the graphic notation. So for the second piece, I would like to invite Tuta Ao and fellow musicians for his composition Tripolar Disorder. I want to have a few words with you. Can you tell me how you came up with the idea and how you composed this piece?
For this piece is called Tripolar Disorder. As you can see, there are three. Yes, as you can see, it's kind of confusing here, but on the left side, the three columns there, it's like it's the first part of the song, and the middle, the three columns, the blue section, is kind of the second section of the song, and the right side, the redmost, red colorful stuff, that's the part three. So I composed a bunch of, I collected a bunch of images and put them together, and I watched I looked at the pictures and I came up with a bunch of sonic atmospheric sounds and also samples and a lot of like songs that will match and go together. And so this song is called Tripolar Disorder, so there are three moods for the song. And this is called this is one of the weeks which we had to do a mood board, and we interpret the mood board into a musical piece. So this is one of the projects, and I hope you enjoy it. Thank you very much.
So let's welcome Tuta Ao and the other musicians.
Thank
For the next sound, next composition, we would like to invite small musicians to play Lim Yan's piece Homeland, which is called Homeland.
The first voice represents the action of eyes closing and opening. Eyes are willing to close. It is filled with uncertainty. It is hard to get enough rest for informal occasions. Eyes are turning red. 1. The voice of the car driving represents, starting from the main road, windy stage, and the sequence of voices represent the continuous operation. More challenging. The second voice represents religious and social toxicity. The right ear accepts all these toxins from the outside without consideration. The sequence of voices become double harmony. Representing both the main road and the others. represents a sign of understanding and achievement of conversation. Like stage 3, the sequence of voices becomes a triple harmony, representing both the main room and the others. The sound of rain represents a sign of coming down. 10. Winding like stage 2, the sequence of voices becomes double harmony. The human voice represents religious and societal toxicity. The left ear denies all these toxins from the outside. Windy like stage 1, the sequence of voice became fade out. The voice of grandfather clock represents peace.